Trump seems to think that Harry Ensign personally conducts the polls that he talks about on CNN.
But the third time we made it too big to rig. So for those people that say the level of popularity, CNN, your friends at CNN, fake news CNN, one of the worst networks you'll ever see, one of the most dishonest, disgusting groups of people. But what happened is they did a poll, and the poll came out yesterday or day before. And is Trump losing MAGA support? The poll was 100%. And you know their pollster, he's got a lot of energy, and he's pretty good. He probably won't have a job very long. But he said, whoa. It was 100% of the people, the MAGA people, and which is mostly, I think MAGA is almost the whole Republican Party. You want to know the truth. Almost everybody endorsed wins. Almost every single person that I endorse wins. And Kayleigh knows that better than anybody. She was witness to it for a long time. Mm-hmm. And she's doing a good job, by the way. But almost everybody.
There's been reports that, the United States might be sending 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. Are you concerned that a move like that could potentially change the unity?
Well, I don't know. I seem to have great support because CNN came out with a poll today that I'm at 100%. And they said they've never seen a poll like that. The CNN poll said I'm at 100%, and they've never seen that before, which is an honor. I was impressed that CNN would do that. You know, it's like, we got to get rid of this guy. They say he may be losing his MAGA base, and that would be maybe the end of him. And then I happen to be watching CNN, which is terrible. They treat me terribly. In fact, just a few days ago, CNN had a poll that had me at 100% of MAGA voters. They said they've never seen anything like that. Can you put that up? I actually said if you could put it up. Do you have the technology to put it up? Go ahead, give it a shot.
You know, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you, and this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Good technology, thank you. Now we can have it, but nobody wants to pick it up. Nobody wants to pick it up. It's pretty incredible. But the people understand. The people get it. That's why I got 100% in the CNN poll. Can you believe it, 100%? They must have made a mistake. Boy, those people that put that poll out got fired by CNN very quick. They're no longer working for that wonderful crooked network. How crooked is CNN? But you know what's worse? I think ABC fake news is worse, actually. But George Stephanopoulos, they had to pay me $16 million for what they said.
You know, I would say that House Republicans are running for the exits faster than kids do on the final day of school. I mean, just take a look here. Oh, hello, most House retirements since 1930. So far this cycle, already 36. That is the grand record over the last nearly 100 years. My goodness gracious. That actually beats the former record in total, which was 34 back in the 2018 cycle. And that wasn't that long ago. And I do recall that was a very, very good year for House Democrats. The bottom line is this: you don't run for the exits unless you know trouble is brewing. And House Republicans so far believe trouble is absolutely brewing.
Okay, how do you know that? What does history tell us about these types of exits?
Okay, so, I say it's brewing, and sometimes I just like to pontificate, but sometimes I actually have facts behind me. Let's take a look here. Okay, party with the fewer House retirements since 1982 in midterms. They went on to win the U.S. House 80% of the time. Far fewer Democrats are retiring this cycle than Republicans. When one side runs for the exits, right? I'm doing my best right here, my best Usain Bolt right here. When one side runs for the exits, they lose the House of Representatives. When one side stays put, it's because they think something good is going to happen. And House Democrats clearly think something is good going to happen, and House Republicans clearly think something very bad. This has been a steady fall into the abyss. There is no bottom. Death Valley, Death Sea. That is how low we are going. You know, you go back to last year when he was sworn in for a second term. He was at plus 6 points. Then minus 3 points a year ago. Minus 7 points 9 months ago. Minus 10 points in October 2025. January 2026, minus 13 points. And now all the way down to minus 18 points. A term too low. In term one, it was anything but that. Take a look here, the 3-month change in Trump's net approval rating at this point in the term. In term one, he was actually rising at this point. He was actually going up. His 3-month change was up by 5 points. Now we're talking about a 3-month change in which he has fallen to a new term too low, in which he's at minus 18 points. If there's one big number from this, is that Donald Trump now has the worst net approval rating among independents of any president ever at this point in term two. He is worse than Richard Nixon, who would be going adios amigos in a few months back in 1974.
It's no secret that Donald Trump is obsessed with his own image and takes criticism extremely personally. The poll that Trump latched onto asked respondents whether they considered themselves to be supporters of the MAGA movement, to which 30% replied yes. So the poll showed that 100% of those 30% of people approve of Trump. It's a weird question that got a fairly predictable result, given how cult-like and closely aligned with Trump the MAGA movement obviously is. Donald Trump might think that all of America is MAGA, but Republicans are freaking out about what his dismal approval ratings outside of that 30% cult mean for the midterms, and for them, and for their futures. More Republicans are retiring ahead of the midterms than at any point in nearly a century, according to an ABC News tally of retirement announcements and a review of historical data going back to 1930. They all know that no matter how much the administration tries to spin it, Donald Trump is a deeply unpopular president, growing even more unpopular by the day, and no matter how many tricks they try to pull, the midterms look set to be an absolute bloodbath.